Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ryan West. Thank you for being patient. I'm going to take myself off camera to spare everybody having to stare at me first and foremost here in a second. But I wanted to introduce myself if I have never met you before. We really appreciate you making time. On this webinar, we're going to talk about the Future Ready Iowa recent grant, the amount of money and what you can do with it. And Kathy Leggett, there's Kathy. She's our Future Ready Iowa coordinator and all things Future Ready Iowa extraordinaire. So she'll actually be doing the presentation. We're going to share the screen and do a PowerPoint. So what I'm hoping everybody can do, if you participated on any of our webinars right after COVID hit, we did a lot of unemployment insurance webinars. And the focal point there was to really just put out information. The same thing we're going to do here. If you have questions, just put those through chat. Just type in your message, and then what we'll do after we get through the presentation is we'll come back through those. So if you don't have any questions yet, but you do, that's fine. Just type them in chat. If you don't know how to do the chat piece, you should just be able to click a little button at the bottom that says chat and type in what you want. Might want to just put it down as all panelists. At this point, I think most people are pretty familiar with Zoom, as it's become kind of the new way of communication.
Yes.
So, excuse me, I'm going to share my screen here, guys, and then we can go ahead and get started. Sure. Okay, so I'm assuming everybody can see that. We'll go down here and put it into presentation mode. All right, so there we go. I'm gonna turn it over to Kathy. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Now, I'm going to go through this fairly quickly and then hopefully leave plenty of time for questions at the end. And then also, as you can see, my email is up there. If you have other questions you think of later, or just jot down my email and contact me with any questions you have, and I'll help in any way I can. So what I'm going to do first is this very quick overview of the unemployment situation as it evolved and Future Ready Iowa, because we may have people on here who are not terribly familiar with Future Ready Iowa, and this is a Future Ready Iowa grant opportunity. So I want you to be able to tie that together. For those of you who know this, these numbers and this information inside and out, I apologize for a repeat, but we'll go through it really quickly, and I'm happy to make these slides available to anybody also. So just wanting to take you back to where we were before the coronavirus pandemic, and what we were really focused on is our very low unemployment rate, and how do we help Iowans with barriers get education and training to get into the workforce in high demand jobs. So you can see some of the numbers listed there. And then total flip, as we all know and experienced this past spring. And then what I had put up here is just so you could see the comparison is where we were in May of 2020. And then the most recent information I had received from our labor market individuals as of July. So unemployment rate going back down, which is great news. But you can also see there the number who are categorized in the unemployment arena, 107,000. So plenty of opportunity to help other Iowans get some education and training in the short term and get back into a really great career opportunity. This is just showing you, and this was March through June, but just wanted to give you an idea of the industry, the unemployment claims by industry. So you could kind of see where people may be looking for other opportunities. Maybe they were in these industries previously and they might be looking for other opportunities. Healthcare, leisure, and hospitality, definitely healthcare and education. And then we have some manufacturing and others. A quick profile that was done in May of the unemployed, the claims, the folks who were claiming unemployment. As you can see, breakdown of female, male, ethnicity and age. So lots of different age groups, lots of different individuals who again, may be looking for a new opportunity. And then just another way to look at the industry, the maybe most affected industries. Again, target audience, thinking about this grant opportunity or where those Iowans who we can help. So quick, somebody has a raised hand. I don't know. Sorry, just a second here. Yep, can the PowerPoint be shared, link be shared? Yep, we can do that.
We'll go through all those.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to keep going. And so Future Ready Iowa, a really brief, am I mute? Can everybody hear me?
Yep.
Again, okay.
Yep.
Really quick overview. Yep, Future Ready Iowa. 70% of Iowans, this is the goal, 70% of Iowans in the workforce have completed some education or training beyond high school by 2025. So we're keeping that in mind. And my slide's not moving. There we go. Thank you. And then I always like to say, why Future Ready Iowa? So a few reasons, there are many, but a few reasons that I like to put out quick is that it's projected that 68% of the jobs in Iowa will require education and training beyond high school by 2025. That's one reason why. This is all prior to COVID, that we do have a huge skills gap in Iowa. 53% of our jobs require education and training up to an associate's degree, up to a 2-year degree. And as you can see, that we have had about 34% of our the individuals in our workforce with that type of education. So that's where we have a huge gap. We need 53 or 54%, and we only have about 34%. So that's a reason. And then always with our, when our LMI group does the survey of employers, what consistently comes back is more than 50% of the employers in Iowa say, we have applicants, but those applicants don't have the qualifications we need. So these are 3 quick reasons why Future Ready Iowa. Again, there are many more, but just some basic background. So just to reiterate, 70% of Iowans in the workforce having education and training beyond high school by 2025. So where are we right now? You can see down here, we've been around the 57, 58% from 2017 and 18, but now we are at 60.2%. And on the other side of the screen, you can see all of these type of trainings count: trade certificates, vocational training, associate's degree, registered apprentice, all that counts. We have many opportunities for individuals to get education and training beyond high school. So now I'm going to go into the specifics of the Coronavirus Relief Fund and really talk through that and some of the application, and then we'll go from there. So this, what is it? The basic what is it is a short-term funding opportunity to help Iowans affected by the coronavirus pandemic obtain education and training to help address and to help with barriers leading to high demand jobs. So I'm going to go through each one of those. So short term, the grant application is open now and applications must be submitted by Wednesday, September 16th at 11:59 p.m. And you will be notified no later than September 23rd, 2020, a week later, as to whether you were awarded the funds. This is a competitive grant. Funds must be spent, if you're awarded, funds must be spent by December 31st this year, 2020, and programming needs to be finished by February 28th. Oops, that's not 2020, it's 2021. My mistake on that. So note that, February 28th, 2021. Now, if you're proposing something that might be, well, we're going to get it started in October and maybe they'll finish in March, definitely submit that. I don't want to discourage anyone, but this is the guidance that we have for the use of this funding source. So Iowans affected by coronavirus. Well, we've all been affected. So that is definitely, want to talk about that a little bit. Looking at people who have lost their jobs or those jobs may not come back. Their hours have been cut. Frontline workers for a better opportunity. And there are many other things that you will think of and be working with right now. So there is no specific definition for that, but I just wanted to give you a couple of examples. And then you certainly can figure out how you best want to position your program application. Training and education. So we're really looking at short-term credentials linked to high demand job opportunities. This could be, and it could be changing opportunities from in-person to virtual, to online, to its credit or non-credit opportunities. It could be on the job. It's just some type of training and education linked to a high demand job opportunity in Iowa. The money can be used to pay for that training and education. The money can also be used to address barriers for individuals getting that training and education. For example, stipends, because maybe one great thing would be is if we can accelerate training opportunities for people. If there was a training program that used to take 6 months, but you could do it in 3 months and have them go half-time or full-time, then they may need a stipend to help pay different expenses while they're getting through that. Is it childcare while they're taking the training? Is it transportation, access to internet, hotspots, computers, because training has gone virtual? What are the barriers that would be in the way of Iowans getting education and training, linking them to high demand careers now? And the money can be used to address those barriers. And then when we talk high demand jobs, very important here, the application needs to include data or information that demonstrates that that training is related to a high demand job area. Now, that does not have to be a high demand job that's on a state list. That can be every applicant. You want to look at your region, and maybe it's a high demand job in your region, maybe it's a high demand job in your city. So you want to use information that you have access to say, justify, so to speak, why is this a high demand job? So please know it does not have to be on the list. There are many high demand jobs that aren't on our list because they're non-credit. So it could be CDL training, it could be CNA, it could be any number of things. So that's the information about high demand job. How much money is available? $5 million, and this money is coming from Federal CARES Act funding. And so that's why we have this short time frame in these specific goals. So that is because those are set down by the federal government, and we are trying to do the best to get it out and make opportunities available within the guidelines that we have. What is the maximum request? A project proposal can request $100,000. That's the maximum. There is no match required. If you're familiar with other employer innovation fund opportunities, there was a match required. There is no match required for this. And then 10%, up to 10% of this funding can be used for administrative costs. And that's the difference from other innovation funds also. When and how are the funds made available? The money will be made available right away. If you are awarded, there will be an MOU, very quick MOU process. Funds can be requested, and the money comes to you to get busy doing the project. The funds not spent by December 31st are going to have to be returned. So it's really here's the money, spend it, let's get the work done, and then you will submit the documentation that shows that you spent the money in accordance with the proposal. So Coronavirus Relief Fund, how do I apply? You can get through 2 ways. You can just go into iowagrants.gov, or you can go to the futurereadyiowa.gov website /innovation, and you will see all the information there. So critical points. If you do not have a current registration already in iowagrants.gov, you will need to register, and I'll go over that more specifically just a little bit further in the presentation. This is an online application. So you put your information into an online application and you submit it. And then next is I really encourage you to use the notice of funding, the grant guidance, and the scoring rubric to do your application. Those are the documents that are going to help you most really figure out what you need to put into this online format to make an application. Let's see. Okay, so here's just a snapshot of the futurereadyiowa.gov /innovation page, what you'll see. And as you can see, that second headline talks specifically about the Coronavirus Relief Fund. And you can also go through, you can connect to iowagrants.gov from this site. And then you can see that we have all of the notice of funding, which is all the information in one document. The Appendix A, which gives you some guidance for the application. Appendix B, which is the frequently asked questions. The C is the funding rubric. And then D is if you're new to iowagrants.gov, specific information about how to register. And then E is a budget narrative form that you'll want to complete and attach with your application. So Appendix A, this is what it's going to look like, and it's really going to guide you through that application process. So just wanting to kind of give you something to see that this looks familiar. So again, I would encourage you to review this information before you start an application, just to make sure you have the pieces that you need and your project is in line with what the goals are of this funding opportunity. I want to spend a little more time on the scoring rubric because that really lays out the key factors that need to be part of a successful application. And so I want to make sure everybody knows that this is something you really want to have side by side when you're working on this. This kind of gives you an example of what it looks like. It has each point section, how many points are available, and then what needs to be in that section. For example, demographics, what do you need to include to get 0 to 5 points, 6 to 10 points, or the 11 to 20 points? And it has, and the same thing, it has specifically laid out the information and told you where you would end up with points upon including that. And this just gives you something to see a little bit closer up. So you can see here, if your plan sets a goal of less than 30% of your participants being from the target population, which is listed right below it, then you're going to be with 0 to 5 points. So a lot of great guidance for you. And like I said, we'll share this, we can share this PowerPoint so you can kind of see it. But again, this is what that will look like. And I really encourage you to take a look at it and work from it when you're doing your application. Appendix D, so this is if you have not been in iowagrants.gov or maybe you need a refresher, this is what it's going to look like when you go there. You're going to have an opportunity to where returning users can log in or new users need to request a login. And so this really, all these directions are in Appendix D on the website that I showed you, but also I find it to be pretty intuitive. So you can go and request new user. You're going to fill in some information. Then what's going to happen is you're going to submit that, and that's going to go into the system. And then somebody will go in and approve you. And then you'll have a login to be able to get in. That does not take long at all, but if you're waiting for an approval, send me an email because I can go in and I can do it really quickly so that you can get into that system. And if you have other questions or struggles with it, you can definitely let me know and I can try and help you figure that out. When you go in, here's just giving you information about what it's kind of look like when you go into the system. And then you'll be able to maneuver around using the buttons, and this kind of shows you all of the pieces that have to be done. You fill in general information and then you can mark it complete. You fill in project information, you can mark it complete. You do an executive summary and your narratives, all of it, it will kind of lead you through that so that you can complete this request. And then here's just a picture of Appendix E, the budget narrative form that I mentioned that you will want to complete and attach with the application when you submit it. So let's see. A couple other points I wanted to make during this is that partnerships, one of the things that I think is really helpful in this is that partnerships between groups, because you're looking for individuals, you may be looking for as an employer, individuals who have been affected by the coronavirus, their jobs, and they're looking for new opportunities. Well, where do you get those? Partnership with your local Iowa Works offices would definitely, and other community-based organizations will probably be working with individuals who have really had some of these major changes in their life. So partnership to find the target population, and then also partnership between educational entities and employers and all three community-based organizations. What can we do to help some Iowans get some education and training on a short term and help with those barriers and get them into a great employment opportunity? So just wanted to point out that partnership is definitely, you don't have to partner, but it's definitely one of the things that you may want to think about. You want to check out the FAQ. I didn't go over that on there, but it's there and it will answer some basic questions for you. The other thing that I have the question mark on is not enough money. This is one of the questions that has come to me since this opportunity was made available is people, some people feeling like $100,000 is not enough to do a project and asking if that would be changed. And my inquiry on this is to tell you is that $100,000 is not going to be changed as a cap. But what I want to do is reframe it a little bit, because we have a short period of time to spend this money and to help people. So maybe think about it in a little different way. Maybe this isn't the thing that's going to help 50 people, but maybe you can help 5, because you can get their education and training paid for, and they can have supports to address all those barriers. And this can get done quickly, and then they can get into a job with an employer. So employers may be looking to fill 3 or 4 positions. Can you get some good candidates from your community-based organizations and work together with your educational partners to make that happen? And so that's just an example. So I just want to say, maybe think about it a little differently. And if you're an employer and you're looking for a lot of folks, maybe you partner with a few different community-based organizations. And this community-based organization says, we're going to work with you and we're going to provide 5 people. And this one over here says, we're going to do 5 people, and they make separate applications. The other thing that I wanted to mention is technical assistance. I am willing, able, and happy to help with any technical assistance on this grant opportunity that I can. I always have to put the caveat out there that any help I provide you does not mean you're going to get funded. So that has to be very clear, but I am happy, because I know we may have people who haven't done an iowagrants.gov application before, or maybe have never done anything like this. And I want you to make an application if you have a project. So please reach out to me. I've been on Zoom chats and I've been on phone calls and exchanged emails with multiple people asking questions about this idea or that, doing brainstorming. And so I'll do anything I can to help you make this application and get it in. So now I think really I just have it open up to what questions people are asking, and we'll try and answer those. So, okay.
Yep.
Sounds better when
Yep.
that happens.
Okay. Oh, you know what? I can go right off here.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to read the questions out loud, and then I'll let Kathy jump in to answer them. So the first one we have is, how is this program different than the previous Future Ready Iowa?
So it's different from the Future Ready Iowa Innovation Fund before, because number one, the time frame is much shorter. Number two, you in the previous Innovation Fund, a local match is required in cash. So it could be donor dollars or an employer. This opportunity, because it is so short term, and the way it's coming down, you do not have to have a local match. So you can ask for the full amount of cost, up to $100,000. Also, previously with the Innovation Fund, the way it's typically done is you cannot use any of the money for administrative costs. This one you can, because again, it's so short term, you may need to have some additional expenses to get it done. So you can ask for up to 10% of your request for administrative funds. And then I would say pretty much those are the big differences between the previous Innovation Fund and this current short-term opportunity. Well, I guess, and the other one is that we're really targeting an audience of people who have been affected by the coronavirus relief. So that was not a specific requirement of the other Employer Innovation Fund.
Yeah, I think that, just to piggyback on that, the real crux of this is what came out of the last 5 months and the opportunities moving forward. And, we've really been pushing people to try to look for different opportunities, especially people who are trying to sell themselves to use LinkedIn and even Facebook to find the home pages for the social media accounts for employers to try to present themselves in different ways. So it's a rapidly changing landscape for sure. So the second question is, what kind of data or need statement are you expecting for justifying who we will serve? Good question.
I would say local, anything that's come out local from your area economic development offices, or the folks in your area who are looking at how many people are unemployed. I think you can get a lot of it through our LMI website. And if you want specifics, you can request it through there, or you can contact me. But local unemployment information, I think, is, we're not looking for a research study, just really just state the facts as you know them from there. And if you have a source it. If not, just, share what's going on in your community.
Yeah, and that LMI site is labormarketinformation.gov, and you can get there from our Iowa Workforce Development.gov website as well. So there's a lot of information on there. So I get it if it seems a little overwhelming, but you just you can find some real easy things on there as well. Wins. So third question.
One more thing I would say when you were talking about target audience, I would also think that, and I don't know what entity is asking this question, but your local community-based organizations are also going to have numbers of people seeking services, numbers of people who they are working with who are affected or unemployed. So I think you can certainly work with those organizations as well.
Yeah, I got the questions. Okay, question number 4. Actually, question number 3, I'm sorry. If programming can continue to end of February 2021, do the funds allow for pre-spending purchase ahead of time?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep, simple as that.
That's what you're going to have to do, really.
Yep, right. So clock's ticking. Number 4, who will be expected to show that the people we serve have been impacted specifically by COVID and were not un or underemployed prior to COVID?
I don't really think we're going to look into it that much. I mean, this is a short-term opportunity, so we're trusting you to put your application together with good intent.
Yeah.
And that's the way we're going to go.
I think because of the time frame on this one, the honor system is really going to be used at a high level. I mean, that's what I mean. Some of this is as simple as it sounds, guys, to be completely honest. Number 5, can this be used for students to work-based learning with industry partners? I'm sorry, can this be used for students to do work-based learning with industry partners? My gosh, sorry.
Yeah, so I would say definitely make an application for that. Again, because there aren't enough specifics to answer all of the specific questions because this is new and has never happened before. What I would say though is you still need to make that case for the effect, how coronavirus has affected this. And maybe it's an employer saying we need people because we can't get anybody in here, enough people in here. That could be a thing. Or just make your case, to why this is related to coronavirus. And also I would really encourage you to, if possible, include short-term credentials, even certificates and those type of things, because that's in line with what we're trying to achieve long-term and short-term for folks. Agreed.
Number 6, can participants be individuals that are currently enrolled in college?
Yes, we're not going to be looking at that. I think that if they're currently enrolled and there's a way to accelerate their training, that would be a great thing. I think you still have to pay attention to the deadline. That project or program pretty much is, at least initially, has been said it has to finish by the end of February 2021. So that's what I think you have to keep in consideration.
So the next question is can Kathy share her contact information? Yes. You want to type it in chat?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so we'll put that in chat before we get off. So everybody has that. For whatever reason, it's not letting me. If you want to type it in right there.
Yeah.
So I'll have her put in her contact information there. So question, 7 was, Kathy, can you please share your contact information?
Okay.
Number 8, describe a scenario where we would spend the money by 12/31, but program would continue until 2/28.
For example, if you are able to work with a training partner who, let's say they can offer a 4-month welding, full-time, 3/4 time program. You have the individuals, you have the target audience who is going to take that. You pay the training the training organization ahead of time for 10 people, this much cost for a 4-month class. Some type of organization MOU. So you put that out there then, and then let's say they need transportation. The way in my head that works, I purchase bus passes, or I purchase some sort of gas card for people to get to be able to pay for transportation. If it's childcare you're trying to cover for them, again, it's going to have to be creative. Can you prepay for 4 months of this, or can you provide a stipend for an individual, and this is their stipend to address those barriers that come up while they complete the class. So that's a quick thing, but that's kind of the way I think we need to think.
Number 9, let's say that we pay for college courses, we enroll them for the spring semester, but they will not complete the course until May. There is no way for that to be completed by the end of February. Explain how we address that scenario.
I think you just put it out in the application and say, this is the way it is. So please consider this application if possible, because I feel like I'm quite sure that the funding deadline is absolutely set in stone. And February 28th, that I would say is pretty much set in stone with the intent. I just don't know if there will be flexibility around it. So I don't want to discourage anybody from applying, but I just think that you say this is the best possible way we can make this happen. And here are our outcomes. This is, and put it forth.
Number 10, can program participants be employed already? Possibly not full-time, but this provides an opportunity to advance skills to make them more marketable.
Yes.
Possible for employers to utilize their skills in additional ways.
Yes.
Yep. Good question. Can this be used for current and future workforce to obtain a new certification that Iowa is requiring to be able to pass medication in the disability field? Can it be used for the classes and also the state of Iowa testing, or just the class?
I think it could be used for both.
Me too.
Yeah,
That's my
yeah, because
interpretation.
testing can be a barrier too. So paying for
Just
testing is.
Put it in the application.
Yeah, yep.
Yep. Good question. Number 12, can a school district apply for this? Also, could it be used for work-based learning with industry partners?
A school district can absolutely apply for it. I think kind of to the earlier work-based learning, I think it's up to the applicant to make that case for number one, of relationship to people affected by coronavirus, and number 2, is there a certificate? Is there something that so I'd say yes to those. It's just up to the applicant to make the strong case.
Yep. Number 14, can a school district, no, same one, sorry. Number 15, from a sustainability standpoint, what do you expect for after 12/31/21?
Nothing. And at this point, I don't know if there will be other opportunities, but that's why this is the short term. And that's why I would really encourage people to try and think out of the box, work with educational partners to say, how can we accelerate learning? We may have programs that take 18 months, but they could really be done full time in 8 weeks. Is there a way to contract with an instructor to do that and pay a stipend to individuals because they're going to school full time for 8 weeks? And then they come out with their credentials. So try and think of ways to make this happen like that, versus this is the way it is and this is the way it has to be done. Because I don't know what could happen from the federal government or anything. That's why we're really looking short term, think out of the box. How do we get this done to help Iowans?
Number 16, is this webinar recorded? It is, and it will be posted on our website by tomorrow. And you can just go to iowaworkforcedevelopment.gov and that'll be out there.
And can we post the slides too?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
And on
Slide.
Future Ready Iowa as well.
Yeah, futurereadyiowa.gov.
Okay, yeah, it's recorded. 17, can this be used for people who are currently employed?
Yes, I think again, it's up to the applicant and the partners to make the case for, yeah, they're currently employed, but their jobs are likely to go away, or they want better opportunities within this company, or just use your creativity and your innovation and address those things in the scoring rubric.
Number 19, can these funds be used for payroll if we are using these hours to cross-train into a skilled trade versus laying off due to a COVID business slowdown?
No, they cannot be used for payroll.
Yep. No. So that's all we had. Did we have? I think that's all we have for right now. Okay, so again, a lot of good questions. We will shut that down. We will get this posted tomorrow. And can you want to go over the date one more time on
When it's due?
When
And
it's due,
yeah,
all
yeah,
that stuff,
absolutely.
just so everyone knows.
Yes, it is due. The applications are due next Wednesday. Is that next Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yeah, September 16th.
Is that in here?
Yeah, it is. It's in my September. Yeah, keep going. September 16th at 11:59 p.m. That's when the iowagrants.gov application will close. And so again,
Question.
short, short term. That's why I really encourage you to use the scoring rubric and look at the guidance. And do also know that we appreciate brevity in the answers. Just to the point, answer the things that need to be answered there and move on, because this is short term for everyone. So so make your case and send it in.
Yeah, so, sorry, my cursor keeps getting stuck here, guys. I think we had one more question. I was trying to, before we flip to this, I kept getting stuck on a name here. So, go down to the last one. Oh, can we get clarification on the administrative cost versus payroll cost?
Administrative cost would be, it's taking our HR person more time to do this. So there's some money, that type of thing, kind of the administration of the organization for recruiting or enrolling people, those type of things versus payroll. If somebody's already being paid to work, we can't supplant that or with this money. So if you have more specific questions about that, let me know. But administrative are usually like those overhead costs that it takes just to do business.
Okay, good questions. Okay, guys, we'll get this posted tomorrow. Again, questions you may have, please let's say we got one more come in. And we got a bunch that just came in, I think. Oh no, we're good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's it, guys. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and shut this one off. I anticipate we'll probably do some more webinars. You're welcome. Thank you. You're welcome. We'll probably do some more webinars still this year.
Oh, yeah.
For sure, especially on Future Ready Iowa stuff. So you got Kathy's contact information. She's certainly the guru. We really appreciate everybody's time. Thank you for everybody jumping on this. We had over 102 people. Or 100 people, so that's a good showing for this. We hope all of you can apply, and we hope all of you can get money.
Yeah.
And thank you for looking to do innovative things around the state of Iowa. That's it. Thanks,
Awesome.
guys. Bye-bye.